Hey everybody, Jonathan here, and today we're going to be going through a carriage kneeling chest expansion. This is an upper body exercise and it's performed on 2 to 3 white springs. 3 is going to be heavier than 2. Kneel at the center of the carriage, reach over to pick up the short hard handles, and then we have to tell everyone, be careful when we come up, because if they come up, they could fly forward. You also want to tell them not to fly forward, period, because if they start to pull this too fast, they're going to fly forward like this. Once we're up on our knees and our palms and our hands are by our hips, press through the palms to bring the handles back behind us, and then breathe in as the hands come forward, stopping our hands at our hips. I like to cue it with the hands open, fingers open like a starfish, and then start with the thumbs connected to the back of the butt or the hip. That way they know when they go forward with their hand, they stop right when their thumb touches their butt. I like to explain in class that if they would like it more classical Pilates, they would allow their arms to go forward past the hips without getting the cable loose like here. And what they're going to get out of passing the hip is a longer range of motion. How could you modify? You can modify by grabbing the long black strap, and what that's going to do is make it lighter because you're holding further away from the cable. How could you intensify without touching the springs? Grab the buckles and put the pointing and the middle fingers through, and this is going to choke up on the cable and make it a lot heavier. You can even hold the plastic buckle and then pull the buckle back if you wanted to, and that would even make it more intense. Now, a different way to hold the hand position is rather than the palms facing back, the palms would face forward and the knuckles would face back. By doing this, you don't have leverage by pushing through your palms anymore, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you're having to use more of the tricep. What I like to cue is to not think about your hands holding the handle. Pull the cable back with your tricep, the back of your arm, and think about your scapula or shoulder blades like elevator doors. Elevator doors will close and open. So as they press their palms back, or as they pull their knuckles back, they want to think about their shoulder blades as elevator doors, and they want to squeeze the shoulder blades together or close the elevator doors. And as their arms go forward, they release their shoulders or open the elevator doors. One thing that I see people do in a chest expansion that's not good is when they start to pull the cable back, what they're going to start to do is they're going to start to arch their back like this. Sometimes you'll also see like a little bit of an arch. They're not really arching too much. They're not engaging their core. And you know that because their stomach hangs out and their back is arched. So I like to come by and I say, engage the core, suck the belly in. And then you're going to notice this turns into this. And it's much better form. They get the core engaged and there's arms. How could you intensify? By moving on the carriage, scooting back further away from the cables. That'll make the cable heavier. How would you modify? You would scoot forward towards the cables, and that would make it less heavy. And anytime that we're on our knees, the fastest way to modify is to sit down on our heels. But if we sit down on our heels, it's less core activation. You can also have people put their knees and legs together to lose more balance, because the wider the knees are, the more balance there is. And that is a kneeling carriage chest expansion.